Welcome back, everybody, to Keys and Gears. I'm Mark. I'm a local Texas mortgage pro. I'm here with Bess Dickson, a Texas real estate pro. And today we're going to talk about the timing of when to buy a house. When is a good time to buy a house? When is a bad time to buy a house? I'm sure you're struggling with that question. And so we're going to dive into that.
I would say that's probably one of the number one Starbucks questions I get.
Always,
coffee line questions.
always.
Not
You
to
know,
promote.
how's the market
Coffee line
and
question.
is it a good time to buy? Right? How's the
Yes.
market and is it a good time to buy?
Yeah.
Right? Those two questions. And it,
Because everybody's trying to time the market. I
Yes.
think that's the key. Is
Yes.
everyone trying to time?
I think, that's kind of the worst instinct we have. We have that in a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We try to time when to buy something. When is it going to go on sale?
Well, stocks is one of the big things.
Stocks is another one where we try to time the market. It kind of reminds me of a conversation I had with my mother a long time ago. Long time ago. I asked her, when is a good time to have children? and she literally said to me,
imagine.
she looked at me, she laughed, she goes, never.
Never.
Never. Just have them and be done with it. It's literally was her
Fair enough.
So to me that's whenever I get asked that question, that's what I think of is there's never a perfect time to buy a house, in my opinion. But there is an emotional side to buying a house and there's a rational side to buying a house. And so those are two different things. The rational side is where you're trying to time the market. The emotional side is where you're ready emotionally to buy a house. Are you in that place in your life where you're ready to buy a house? And I think that's where we should probably start because the rational side's kind of boring. We'll get to that later. So let's talk about the emotional side of buying a house.
Fair enough. I'd say
Owning a house and buying a house.
There you go. Of owning a house.
Right.
I'd say a composite, and I think, and the answer is behind door number C.
Yeah, right.
A is rational, B is emotional. The answer is actually behind door C, which is an intentional combination of both. When you've had one button pushed too far on your soul by either your upstairs neighbor clacking at 12 a.m. with the shoes, or you're having a life partner change or a situation change, right? That's all the emotional side.
So let's do a sidebar real quick.
Okay, I love sidebar.
So what Bess is talking about is the 4 Ds of real estate.
4 Ds, yes.
That is diamonds. So you getting married is one key factor in buying a house. Another one is diapers. Your family's growing, right? Then you have the bad one.
Dun, dun,
The two last ones are bad.
Yeah, the 4-letter word
Divorce. You have a divorce in your life. Unfortunately, that creates a real estate transaction.
And the other side,
and
4-letter
then
word,
death.
death.
So those are the four instances where major life changes emotionally and rationally make you change what you're doing. So that's what we're changing gears.
Changing gears.
And so the first one is the diamonds part, and in this day and age, actually, a lot of my clients are single women. So it's not even, they don't even have that life change and they're deciding, you know what, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting around I'm buying a house now. Mr. Right hasn't come along, I'm buying now,
They affirm you statistically.
Yeah.
National Association of Realtors just finished a study, and they said, within the next 5 to 10 years, 40% of the wealth in America is going to be primarily controlled by a female, and they are, in fact, the fastest growing segment of the buying population.
And that's
pretty cool.
And in those situations, I don't have much of an emotional conversation with them. They're all in on, I want to build wealth, and yes, they may be living someplace where the neighbor is annoying them, and that's part of the decision making in buying a house. But with me, they talk more about what does it look like financially. I'm sure with you, they're talking more about, I want to live in a different neighborhood. I want walkability.
But still, circling back around timing. I mean, that's really like, when is the best time? When is the best time to buy? And the best time, succinctly, the answer is when it is best for you.
Right.
Either coming to terms rationally with your finances,
right,
or emotionally, like, okay, I'm ready to start another chapter, or whatever that looks like.
Or I want to be closer to work. I want to, I mean,
Right.
there's lots of reasons why
And to get to that point, you've got to put blinders on. There's a number one home hack for you as far as buying or selling, actually. When is a good time to sell? Is you put blinders on of media, social media, news media, well-meaning friends
all
and family.
the noise. Yeah.
You just got to dial in and look inward. That's really where the answer is. It's inside of you is what is best time. Why do I say that? Because over the years, right? I've been in this business a really long time. And so if you read the headlines, Bess, the real estate professional, has been through many cycles in real estate, according to the headlines, if you look outside. But the reality is when Bess puts on her blinders and dials in on her amazing tribe, her amazing people, all right, we must be headline blind. We must be
Inward focused.
we must be inward focused. Why? Because the circumstances do change so quickly. Interest rates do change overnight, and the process to go from dream head, dream heart of what your house looks like to actually getting those beautiful brass keys in your hands, that does not change.
Right.
That does not change. And the best success of timing for that is when you are inwardly focused, when you are dialed in, razor hard with your partners, your lending partner, your real estate professional partner, to find that place. Why? I had a couple, and he was resolute on getting the absolute best deal possible. So he was constantly hammering me on, hey, I just saw the interest rate go down a quarter point, so this week we got to find a
Right.
house. And that sort of thing. She obviously had her list, and she just wanted to find a house that spoke to her emotionally, right? Ultimately, the first time we started looking, we ended up not getting anything. We decided we'll just re-up the lease at a higher rate for 6 months, and then to do a reboot. What was interesting is that during that time, the interest rates dropped quite a bit. So y'all can kind of get an idea of the timing of the window.
They lucked out.
They were very fortunate. You would think that they were really fortunate, but the challenge was when the interest rates dropped to that degree, everybody else in America that was thinking about buying a house suddenly decided,
And
this is a good time. So now this house that was this price, and 6 months ago, we could have offered here.
Yeah.
All right. So it's listed here. We could have offered here
Yeah.
at and would have been paying a slightly higher interest
Right.
rate. Okay. Now, same house, 6 months later, we're having to offer here.
And
This is
compete
still
with
list
other
price.
people and may not get it.
And
may
we
not
may
and
not
then I
get it.
Yeah.
And now we've gained all that emotional fun of, do we get it? Okay.
Right.
We have to kumbaya really hard tonight, and hopefully we get yes.
Yes.
But,
So that's
I don't know. So there you go. There was somebody that was very number oriented, really trying hard to time the market because he had been studying the bond market, and he just, what did I know? Ultimately, we ended up here. Oh, sure, he had a significantly lower interest rate, but he also paid a significantly higher purchase price to get that key.
It's a tug of war between the rational side of you and the emotional side, right? And so if you have a life partner, a lot of times they play devil's advocate to your view of things. And in my case, the last time the world was coming to an end in 2008, for example, as a real estate broker, I was a real estate agent back then, not a mortgage broker. I called my client list on the days after the big collapse, so to speak. And my question to them was, where do you need to be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Have you thought about it? Because now these coming years are going to be the prime time to buy real estate at a discount. So you better start thinking today, and you're already behind the 8 ball. You need to start thinking today about where do you want to be in 3, 4, 5 years. And that generated a ton of sales in a
That was
time
a
in a time when the world was
brilliant
coming to an end, when
question.
people were like, I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm not, and the question was, where do you want to be? Now is your opportune time. And as a stockbroker, I would have called them and said, now's the time to buy the market.
Right.
Let's go.
Well, and real estate contracts similar.
It does, and it's counterintuitive. Emotionally, you would have said, "Oh my God, I'm losing my job probably, and I'm not buying another house. I don't know what's going on." So some people said, "I can't do it." Other people did. The ones that did, guess
Look like
what?
rock stars
They
in 5
were rock
years.
stars 5 years later. Oh my gosh, it's the same kind of thing as 2020 when people were
Very similar.
when people were saying to me, "You're just trying to sell me a mortgage," and I said, "No, now's your time to buy a house and get ahead of this curve and really cash in." And guess what? 5 years later, they're cashing in. So when it's emotionally feels not the right time, but on the technical, rational side, it's a great opportunity. You kind of have to shut out the emotional side and said, let me jump in and do it.
But still, ultimately, the number one rule of thumb on all that, it's still the look inward to find that answer.
Yeah,
Still tracks.
But what I'm saying is,
Listen to great advice, but then
right.
pull in there and where do you want to be in 5 years and
Right.
things like that. I mean,
And
because you don't want to get onto the emotional bandwagon either. If that's not
you just can't time it. But when times like this come where rates drop to 3%, guess what? Nothing else matters. Let's go. I mean, what are you waiting for? Rates to go to zero? I mean,
Don't buy that diamond ring.
Don't get greedy.
Buy the house.
Yeah, and actually, that's conversations I had back then. I was like, stop the wedding plans. Let's get a down payment for a house. No, I'm not kidding. I had conversations like that where I said it's a better idea for you to postpone your wedding by a year than for you to postpone buying a house for a year. Because I don't know how long this 3% is going to last. I have no idea.
Yeah, and now it's gone.
And now it's gone. Yeah,
Now
right.
it's gone.
Right. So anyway, so that's about timing. There's never a right time, never a wrong time. You have to look inward. You have to check the boxes with yourself and then listen to the outside world, but don't let the outside world dictate what you're going to do.
Don't let it rule what's best for you.
Especially family, because family a lot of times has a view from 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
When they bought a house.
And when they bought a house.
Back in the day of dinosaurs.
And Bess and I have plenty of stories of parents telling their kids, you're paying how much for a house? Are you insane? Right. And here we are 5 years later and their house is doubled.
Right. My parents, yeah, fair enough. My dad told me one time, he said that, I didn't realize their first house.
Right.
They paid $47,000 for that house. Here's the hook. They also he was thrilled to be at a 13.5% interest rate.
Right.
Okay. So talking about timing again.
Right.
All right. So now, right now, as of this gathering, us chatting,
yes,
in 2025, we're at about a 6-ish interest rate. Okay. And now homes, we're thrilled to find something for around $100,000. That does in fact happen. Right. I'm writing an offer today on $100,000. I will just say that. Fully furnished. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. But $100,000, so double the amount back in the day, but it's also half the interest rate. And timing, right?
And
you got to do what's best for you.
And for all the numbers geeks out there, $40,000 back in those days is the equivalent of $400,000 today. So they weren't buying a $40,000 house. You have to look at it in today's dollar. People make that mistake all the time, and they call me and they go, we bought a house, and I said, don't fool yourself. Inflation is alive and well. And you can't just compare $47,000 in 1965 to $47,000 today.
Well,
it's not the same.
And even better news, you don't have to worry about that since you cannot go back in time and
That's
be
right.
born.
That's
we
right.
have to just go with what's going on in front of us now.
Again, are you
but
ready?
Nod to it and then carry on.
Are you ready to own a house? It's buying is one side, owning a house is a whole nother side, right? So buying the house, you got to be emotionally ready for the process of buying a house. Owning a house, now you are responsible for that house. Are you emotionally ready to be responsible for something? And some people are simply not ready. They're better off renting because that step is too much for them.
Are they also the people that adopt a puppy or something for funsies from the SPCA and then later return it?
Realize
they often are.
And
There you go. There's a totally out of the ballpark hack. If you're thinking about buying a house, adopt a puppy. See? No, I don't know. Don't know where that came from.
adopt a puppy regardless. There's too many of them
There's too
that
many
need to
of
be
them. That's
adopted,
true.
but that's another story.
Yeah.
And then financially, are you ready to own a house? Because there comes financial responsibility with a house. You got to be ready for repairs, but you get paid back for all of that. And that's where people kind of that think about it more emotionally and go, oh my gosh, I'm not ready, and financially I'm not ready either. But they're overthinking that part, because they'll get paid back in spades for all that money they invest in the house. They'll get it back, and that's it's just
i.e. a refund on your rent.
right.
Because until you pay off your mortgage, you are renting your home from yourself. And that really is the
Exactly. Best way to put it.
that is the difference between renting from a landlord and
Right.
renting from yourself, i.e. buying a home.
Are you paying yourself, or are you paying somebody else? Which one?
Are you
which
paying
one
for
are you?
somebody's boat payment?
Right.
Somebody's diamond ring?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or are you paying yourself? Because when you go, and why do we say that? Because when you go to sell the house, someone's going to write you a check. And when they write you that check, they're refunding you all your rent payment.
Yep.
And that's it in a nutshell, really.
Caveat to that is, how long did you live there? If you lived there a year, you're not going to get paid back. But
Amen.
that's a topic for another episode. Probably the next episode we'll talk about.
Fair enough.
The technical side of
okay,
things.
I will take that, but then you're still maybe you're not getting full rent return. Maybe
Right.
you're just getting
You
a
get
partial rent return.
but it's still you're not burning money, right? You're not paying somebody else. You're still paying yourself, even if it's fractional. You're still paying yourself back. So that's probably our second episode.
And they're also paying you back. Just to carry on with this tangent
Yeah.
for just a minute.
Yeah.
Reminder: they're also paying you back with today's dollars
when they're
too.
when they're buying your house. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Inflation adjusted. Yep. Dollars.
Anyway,
Yep.
there you go.
So there you have it. Never the right time to buy a house. You just have to jump in. And by the way, nobody's ever said to me, I don't know about you, but nobody's ever in 26 years of real estate, nobody's ever said to me, I wish I'd waited to buy a house.
Truth.
Not in
Yes.
Texas. In other markets, maybe, but not in Texas. Nobody's ever said that to me. They said, I wish I'd bought a house when I was 20. I wish I had bought a house 5 years ago. I never hear, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't buy a house.
And especially when they're on their second or third transaction.
Oh, yeah.
Experience.
They see the
ladder. The real estate ladder is a real
the
thing.
accumulation of wealth is
Okay,
tremendous.
there, I guess there's a preview of another episode, the real estate ladder.
There we go. This is another episode of Keys and Gears for you. Drop us a line down below. Make a comment. Give us suggestions. What do you want to hear about? Drop us a line if you have more in-depth questions at our email, keysandgears@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you again. We are also on YouTube, Spotify,
All the things.
and Apple Podcasts. So we look forward to seeing you next time.